All right, we are at Broman Field, the site of tonight's Battlefield District matchup as the Blue Devils play host to the Courtland Cougars in a key football game tonight. Well, it's a lot of things as well because it's senior recognition night and it's unveil a new mascot night and maybe announce some of the district accomplishments from both our schools, Culpeper and Eastern View. But right now, we've got Blue Devils head coach James Ford in the middle of Steve Peacock and I. Coach, great to see you.
Nice being here. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much.
Always our pleasure. We really haven't had a chance to mic you up since the coaches show. That seems like a long time ago. A lot of football has been played since then.
Only about 8 weeks. 8 weeks plus.
What do you think about? Now I know your team is 4-4 overall, 2-3 in the district, and tonight, of course, is a very important game. How do you see your team in terms of its where they are developmentally, and what do you expect tonight?
Well, we're practicing well every week. Every week we've had really good practices. On the scoreboard, unfortunately, it hasn't shown the last couple of weeks. We've only been 1-2 in the last couple of weeks. After we went 3 straight, and then we fell a couple of times. But our guys are getting better. They're learning how to practice, and we're peaking at the right time, right when it's about playoff time.
That's a good time to peak, right?
Yes, definitely.
Coach, I know it had to be disappointing losing to James Monroe. I was thinking you could have got that game. But anyway, you're still in the playoff picture. I've been broadcasting Courtland for years. They never change. They still run that same old wing offense, and they get after on defense. What do you have to do tonight against Courtland? Because they're not having too good a year either.
Well, they're sound. I mean, on film, they're losing and winning close games. So we're going to have to be disciplined. J.C. Hall does a great job with that program. He's been there for a while, and he does a good job with his guys. And they're disciplined. They play hard. They get after it. So we're going to have to play the same. So we're going to have to have extreme effort and play very disciplined ball and play clean.
Coach, I think they're kind of hard to gauge because if you look at how their games have played out, they lost their first 4, including a game to Spotsylvania, but then they turn around and they beat JM. Sure. So who are they really?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, they beat JM and they played well in that game. I mean, like I said, we watched them on film and they were very they stayed on task. They were able to pound the ball, and they did everything they needed to do to win that game. So
So I want to throw a trivia question your way. Who was a quarterback on that last Courtland State Championship football team? I think you're going to see him tonight. A fellow by the name of
I think it's J.C. Hall.
J.C. Hall. And Steve is right. We've been watching Courtland for a long time. They run the wing tee, and like you said, bad in the single wing, you don't get to see it too much, so you need more time to prepare for it. But you've got the number 1 rusher in the Battlefield District in Malachi Terrell. They've got the number 2 guy, E.J. Rogers.
Yes.
We're going to probably see a lot of him tonight.
Yeah, I guarantee we're going to – I mean, they give them the ball in every facet of the game. They even throw it to them a little bit. So we're going to have to really keep our eye on number 2 and make sure that we keep them in the box and tackle them when we have to tackle them.
And King George can hurt teams with their passing game. 2 outstanding receivers, Division I players, and then they have a terrific quarterback in Zach Ferguson.
And a good running back.
They do have a good running back, too. But is Courtland as inclined to hurt you in the air as they are by the run?
We haven't seen it much. They have put the ball in the air a little bit, and they work. They do complete passes when they have to. So our DBs can't fall asleep. They have to play. You have to play responsibly. Again, discipline and do their job.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, Coach, too, another important thing is your team needs to get off first. I think score first, try to get that lead, and not try to play from behind. So what do you got to do offensively to get that going?
We got to stay on schedule. We can't get ourselves in behind the sticks and first and long, second and long plays. We have to play. We have to get yards, especially on first down. We got to win the first down battle, and we got to win the turnover battle.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us in our pregame show. Always good to see you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
All right, well, Steve, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got a Battlefield District matchup between Culpeper and Courtland. Courtland's got a great tradition. But, again, I think they're sort of hard to figure considering how their games have played out this year. They did beat JM, and that tells me something.
Well, yeah, they beat JM, and I think Culpeper should have beat JM myself. Courtland doesn't look big. They don't have as many players they used to have on the sidelines. But they own the series against Culpeper. 16 wins, 7 losses, 1 tie. And they're going to try to – and they like to come over here and spoil senior night for the Blue Devils. The Blue Devils know it's very important for playoffs. They're locked in right at the number 5. Number 4 is James Monroe ahead of them. They beat Courtland and James Monroe loses tonight. Culpeper's going to move up because they take the top 8. And one of the things I was looking at the playoffs, Meridian High School, and I said, that's the old George Mason High School.
Right.
They've gone from single A to double A, and they're going to be in our region. for playoffs.
For playoffs, that's interesting.
So,
well, one of the things too, Steve, is that Coach Ford said that right now they're a 5 seed. They're going to make it to the playoffs. But if you can make a number 4 seed, you get to host a first round playoff game.
Sure do. And right now they've got, like I said, they got Meridian, which is the old George Mason of Falls Church. They got Brentsville. Then they got some in the south side, Matoka 3, and then you got Courtland. JM 4 and us 5. So Culpeper I think they need to get a win. They can't back into the playoffs on a losing streak.
Yeah.
I think they got to go out tonight, control the line of scrimmage, cut down on penalties and errors, and they should do fine.
Well said. Looking forward to calling the game with you tonight here at Broman Field. It's senior recognition night. We'll have a lot to talk about, and of course a lot going to happen on the gridiron between the Courtland Cougars and your Culpeper Blue Devils. So let's take a break. We'll come back when the team captains meet in the center of the field for tonight's coin toss. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. From wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between. You'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Right, we welcome our viewing audience to tonight's broadcast of high school football. As the homestanding Blue Devils, you're looking at their team captains on the sidelines, Culpeper sidelines right now, as the team captains will soon approach the center of the field for tonight's coin toss. They're going to be playing the Courtland Cougars in a key Battlefield District matchup. I'm Mark O'Connell, welcoming back to the broadcast after a week hiatus. Steve Peacock. Steve, welcome aboard. We're looking at those Blue Devil captains. I'll name them and ask you what you think about tonight's matchup. So from left to right, number 53 is William Holland. Number 56, Quentin Butler. 72, Jose Jimenez, and number 75, Corey Hutchinson, and their counterparts from Courtland reach center of the field. What do you think about tonight's matchup between these two teams?
It's an intriguing matchup, Mark, and let me tell you why, because it's the old single wing or double wing that Courtland's used for years against Culpeper's defense, and they're going to have to, locate the football. That's what you got to do in the single wing. You got to locate the football. You got to play in your gaps. You got to play sound. Can't get over rotated to one side. But we're going to see a lot of running tonight, and I look for Culpeper on offense with their big offensive line. Open up holes for Malachi Terrell, the leading rusher in the Freelance Star area. That includes Stafford, Culpeper, Spotsylvania counties, and Caroline and down to the northern neck. And right now he's the leading rusher, all-area leading rusher, Malachi Terrell. And I'd say feed the beast, give it to him, and see, open up the holes until they stop him. I think Culpeper got to play a little bit more balanced. And don't forget that Courtland can throw it when they want to.
Well, and don't forget that, speaking of feed the beast, Courtland has a beast to feed in E.J. Rogers, second only to Malachi Terrell in rushing yards. 829 yards, 10 TDs. Malachi Terrell, as you mentioned, 1,297 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns. Both these teams want to run that football. And, of course, when we talk about Courtland, we think about that wing T offense. Head coach J.C. Hall has been running it for a long time. Well, Culpeper won the toss. They deferred, so they'll be kicking off to start things tonight. We talk about every game being a key game, but let's face it, Steve, the Blue Devils are 4-4. They're currently ranked, I think they're rated 5th in their region. They'll make the playoffs, but what they would like to do is get a higher seed. If they can get up to a 4 seed, they can host a first-round playoff game.
Right, that means they got to, since they lost to James Monroe, they've got to win out. And they got to win tonight, and they got to beat Chancellor next week. They do that, and hopefully James Monroe will lose one. And there you go, Culpeper's back in at the 4th seed. So they've got a lot to play for. They haven't been playing very well the last 2 games. Coach Ford attested to that in the pregame. So it's going to happen. Very key tonight, Mark, like I said in pregame. Culpeper's got to start out well. They can't get behind the 8 ball right off the bat. They've got to try to put some points on the board, and they got to try to control this offense, the wing T offense of Courtland Cougars.
Well, last week, Culpeper lost to James Monroe 38-7, and Courtland was a winner. They beat Caroline. All right, R.J. Uribe has teed it up. He'll be kicking off here right now. We are underway. He keeps it on the ground. This is going to be picked up inside the 25-yard line. Here on a nice return already is Courtland's number 14. Looks like he went out of bounds, and that was Kawami Whitaker on the return. Let's check the spot.
Looks like he's going to be about the 50-yard line, Mark. And you know what? Again, that doesn't bode well for the Blue Devils. Let him get out of containment, run down the sideline. If he hadn't stepped out, he would have had a touchdown.
And as it is, outstanding field position. As you pointed out, we'll probably mark it around midfield. Takes them a while to sort of settle down, doesn't it? And they do mark it at midfield. So that's where Courtland's offense will set up as they start things here tonight. Courtland comes in with a record of 2 wins against 4 losses. They're 2-1 in the battlefield. Culpeper's 4-4 overall and 2-3 in the battlefield. Here is your wing T offensive formation for Courtland. The quarterback, Wojciechowski, hands off to number 11 of Courtland. That is Isaiah Spearman on the carry. And we'll check the spot. He gets down close to the 40-yard line. It's a nice pickup on first down. Looks like 8 or 9 yards.
And again, Mark, they got to be able to find the football. Their offensive line is not huge. And Culpeper's got to, stay in their gap and let the linebackers roam to find that football. They cannot get bunched up in one area, because what will happen is the Courtland Rogers or the other back will break it out and for a long gainer.
Yeah, E.J. Rogers, you expect will get the bulk of the carries tonight. They got some other guys already. They're working into this mix. All right, here's Wojciechowski, the quarterback, under center. Hands off straight ahead. E.J. Rogers, there he goes into the open field secondary. It's a foot race for the goal line, and it looks like he is in from 41 yards out. E.J. Rogers just adds to his season total. That gives him unofficially 870 rushing yards this year. So it's touchdown Courtland in its second play from scrimmage.
And Mark, does not bode well for the Blue Devils. They've been having pension here, and it's carried on to the 3rd straight game of giving up touchdowns or big gainers in the first quarter, right when they get the ball. So now Culpeper's behind it. See how they're going to react now to this adversity.
Amir Mateo on for the point after. The holder is Cole Bruce. Kick is up and good. 7-0 our score. Opening minute of this first quarter, and Courtland on top already, 7-0. They scored on their second play from scrimmage. Of course, they were the benefactors of having outstanding field position, started the drive, short drive as it was, 50 yards in 2 plays, and it consumed 46 seconds. All right, well, we are live tonight, and of course our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. And Steve, pregame activities, recognition of the seniors, and the unveiling of a new Blue Devil mascot.
Named Dante.
As in Dante's Inferno.
Yep.
So the new Blue Devil mascot goes by the name of Dante. You've heard that in English literature?
Yep. Don't ask me where, when. All right, well, I'm Mark. Right now.
But if you're going to do trivia tonight, Steve, you got to get me corrected on that last one.
I know.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. But now it started to come back to me, the controversy surrounding that year.
Yep.
Remember that? All right, here's the kickoff. It's going to be a short one. One hop fielded near the 25-yard line and bringing it back for the Blue Devils, giving the team good field position. It was number 28, Talik Thomas. All right. Now, the onus is on Culpeper's offense, Steve, because you mentioned, and we talked about it with Coach James Ford in the pregame, you don't want to get behind, have to play come from behind football.
No, you don't, and especially against Courtland. And you want to be able to stop their offense. Now, when you look at them defensively, they don't look like that big up front, but they're active. They fly to the football. It's that's the cornerstone of Coach J.C. Hall's defense. Everyone come to the football, and they get there hard.
All right, Bennett Sutherland in the gun. Malachi Terrell alongside him. Courtland shows pressure. Handoff to Terrell. Delayed step, then he went forward, maybe picked up a couple of yards. Line of scrimmage was a 42. We'll give him one. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
And I think, Mark, they're also going to use him in play action a lot too. Send him out on little routes out to the outside right near first down and pick up the first down with his running ability. And also, like I said, I think they have to open up a little bit of the field so they don't stack the box like they're doing right now.
All right, they gave him 2. 2nd and 8. Sutherland, again, handoff, Malachi Terrell. He sheds the first tackler, got across the 45, then second effort gets him out to about the 47. That's a pickup of 3. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. And 3rd and 5s are manageable situations. You just don't want to get caught in the 3rd and long.
No, and you don't want to have a penalty here either. You don't want to be jumping off sides. You want to make sure you get sound and get the play and execute.
All right. Actually gave him a couple more. It's they mark it at the 49 of Culpeper where it's 3rd and 3. 10 minutes to play, opening quarter, Broman Field. Courtland scored on its opening possession. Now we got movement down here at the bottom of your screen. That'll cost the Blue Devils 5 yards. It'll push the ball back, and it'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, that was Colby Charlton who jumped off sides right there. And that's what I just said. Don't jump. Don't go off sides. You go now from a 3rd and 3 to a 3rd and 8. And those are the mistakes, Mark, that's when they can compound and they can come back to hurt you in so many ways.
And perhaps even changes your play call from a 3rd and 5 to a 3rd and 8. We'll see. Bennett Sutherland delivers some instructions to his lineman. Malachi Terrell back there. They load that right side. 3 receivers, 1 to your left. And now Terrell shifts to the right. Long snap count. More movement this time the other side, and it's going to cost the Blue Devils 5 more. And I think this one's going to work against Alex Lowe.
Yeah, you can't. You got to stay still. You can't lean forward, and you got to know the snap count. If you don't know the snap count, you take a look down the sideline, look at the ball down the line of scrimmage. But again, poor. That's to me, Mark. Your head's not in the game. Lack of preparation right there.
For discipline.
Yep. Again.
Stay focused. All right. Now, rather than a 3rd and 3, went to 3rd and 8. And then rather than a 3rd and 8, it's gone now to 3rd and 13 from the 39. Bennett Sutherland. They need a chunk here to keep possession. They go back to the run. Here's Malachi Terrell. Makes a cut, 40-45. Out close to midfield. He's going to be a couple yards shy of a first down, but he got a lot of that back, didn't he?
He did, sure did, Mario. It was a tough running by Malachi Terrell. Now, what do? Do you go for it on 4th or do you punt it away? Well, you already saw that Courtland scored on his 3rd play from a line of scrimmage or 2nd play.
Right.
And it looks like they're going to try to go for it. Maybe see if they can draw Courtland off sides.
I was thinking they'd probably try to draw them off sides. They need just 2 yards for a first down. If they don't draw them off side, do they decide to punt? They do not. They go back to Terrell. A little mix-up in the backfield, and that's going to cost them because Sutherland and Terrell collided, slowed Terrell down, and Courtland was able to take advantage of that and had several players in on the tackle, including number 56, DeLon Reed. And so that'll turn the ball over on downs, and Courtland back in business with that outstanding field position.
And Mark, where was the blocking up front? I mean, they just came in too easy. And again, maybe Culpeper's drunk on senior night. I don't know, but they're right now. They don't look like they're playing sound football like Coach Ford wants them to play.
Well, so for the second time tonight, Courtland goes on offense with outstanding field position. They started their first drive from midfield. They're going to start the second one on the Culpeper side of midfield at the 48. We've got an official timeout, it looks like.
Might be an equipment problem. We'll see here.
Well, we'll tell you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825 35-30. Steve, I guess that was an illegal shift.
No, it's too illegal substitution, too many people on the field, Mark.
Okay, yeah. And it cost them 5 yards, right? Yep. Back to the 47 on the Courtland side of the field. And that'll make it 1st and 15. Still, Courtland has a short field to work with, and Wojciechowski, the quarterback, handing off to E.J. Rogers, picking up where he left off on the last run. And they bring him down inside the 35-yard line. Deontay Ford makes the tackle on E.J. Rogers. So 2 runs for positive yardage for Courtland behind E.J. Rogers.
And we got a flag on the play. Is it going to be against Culpeper or is it going to be holding against Courtland? They threw it after he was tackled, and we'll see what the officials say. Yeah, they're backing Courtland up, so it's going to be a hold on Courtland.
All right, as they mark this one off, I'll take this opportunity to tell you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 547-3673. All right, 7:59. Clock stop. Now it resumes here in the first quarter. Courtland on top, 7-0. After the holding, they move the ball back to the Culpeper 44. Liam Wojciechowski is the quarterback. E.J. Rogers the ball carrier. And this time, they do a good job of getting him down before he hit started. Larry Williams there, number 3, makes the initial hit and tackle.
And it was tackle number 23 marked for Courtland, and that was Amir Mateo was the runner on that play.
Oh, number 23?
Yep.
Yeah, Amir Mateo.
And, you know,
rather than E.J. Rogers. Well, they had a couple guys tonight. Also, let's see, you're going to probably see Kawami Whitaker and some others. They're going to spread the ball out some. All right, line of scrimmage now the 44. There was no gain on the play. 2nd down and 6. Clock running, 7 minutes to play. Now this is Rogers, straight ahead, stiff arms a defender, skips away from another, breaks the tackle, and finally pushed out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Well, he just made that look really easy. He was pushing people off of him, Steve, like they were fleas.
I know, Mark. I mean, it's just like a hot knife going through butter right there. Boom, just carving up Culpeper's defense, and no one's putting a helmet on him. And again, you got to understand that he's going to get the majority of the carries here on that single wing attack. And right now, Culpeper seems perplexed.
He just picked up 33 yards and a 1st down there. Now, so far, he has the game's touchdown, a 41-yard run on that second play from scrimmage. And right there, he just added 33 more to his totals early here in this one.
It looks like he'll be over 100 yards before the first quarter's over.
Checking into the game is Cole Bruce for Courtland. E.J. Rogers back there. Man in motion. Straight ahead, ball carrier, end zone. It's number 23, and that's Amir Mateo. From 11 yards out, touchdown Courtland. They're on top 13-0 with 6:46 to play here in the first quarter.
And Mark, that was too easy, just too easy. Culpeper, I think, needs a timeout. They need to. I think Coach Ford needs to light a little bit of fire under them some way, because right now they're just don't look like they're into the ball game.
Well, Mateo just scored 6. Now he's going to try to tack on the extra point, but it's a bad snap. They pick it up, they throw it, and this play will fail. Had no choice but to try to get rid of it.
Right.
So the point after fails is 13-0 in favor of Courtland with 6:46 to play here in the first quarter. And I think you're right, Steve. They're going to have to make some quick adjustments, or it's going to be a long night for the Blue Devils. Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. And there's Copperfish and Time Market, from wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between. You'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. All right. Well, we are live tonight. Of course, we mentioned our live sponsors, Able Heating and Air. A lot going on here tonight, Steve, because not only got a football game to play and a pivotal Battlefield District matchup, but senior recognition night. What else has gone on? They unveiled a new mascot, a fellow by the name of Dante.
Dante, maybe he's a bad omen.
So. Makes you wonder. Well, kicking off, I think it's going to be Mateo. And it looks like he is handling. They keep it short. Let's check the bounce. Going to be picked up inside the 25-yard line. Here on the return, penalty flag comes in as number 24 for Culpeper. That's Marshall, isn't it? Yeah, it's Anthony Marshall on the return. Let's check the call. He got out to the 35-yard line.
It's going to be a block in the back. Looks like it's going against Culpeper. We'll see. Could be a legal block in the back, or could it be or clip. Let's see what they're.
Do you find that that frequently on punt and kickoff returns we get a lot of penalties?
Yeah, I mean, because you can't get it. You can't get to the. If all they got to do is you got to make sure your helmet is in front of the player, not behind. As a push in the back. You can't push him in the back. If he's by, you cannot turn around and push him in the back. You've got to make sure your helmet comes across his chest.
All right, so they'll mark it at the Culpeper 25. Average field position for the Blue Devils, who trailed early in this one, 13-0. We're not quite at the midway point of this first quarter. Bennett Sutherland, your quarterback, splits the receivers left and right. Malachi Terrell back there. They expect him to do the bulk of the work. Straight ahead he goes. And the second effort gets him out to about the 30-yard line. He'll pick up 5 yards on first down. Last man off that pile for Courtland was number 20. That's Christian Olivella, linebacker.
Mark, I was going to say is that Culpeper, I think, has got to score here on this possession.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot go another three and out and give the ball back to Courtland and let them run through them with ease. They've got to answer this score here on this drive.
Yeah, and so E.J. Rogers has one of the touchdowns, but he has 2 of the long runs tonight for Courtland, 41 and 33 yards. And then here's Malachi Terrell trapped in the backfield, nowhere to go. They smother him for a loss back at the 26. He'll lose 4 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 9.
And see, Courtland, Mark, is not even they're daring Culpeper to throw the ball. Look how they line up. See, they're all lined up in that box. They have one deep safety, and everybody else is up there in that box, so they know they're going to hand it to Terrell. So you got to use that against them. Play action, roll one of your receivers on a slant pattern over the middle, and have one run to the post. And I guarantee you might be able to complete it, but now it looks like holding against Culpeper.
Yeah, so the official was, they were consulting. I knew there was going to be a penalty, and it turns out this one's against Culpeper as well. It is for holding, and it pushes the ball back to the Culpeper 17-yard line. So this means they have to get out to the 35 for a first down, so it's going to be 3rd and 18 from that spot. All right, here's Sutherland. He is going to throw now. Here's his first pass of the night. This one's caught for a short pickup by Cole Plaster at the 21-yard line. He picked up 4 yards. And I'm wondering if I lost it down. Yeah, it's actually 3rd. Oh, okay. It's actually 3rd down and 14.
And see, one thing that Bennett's got to learn is not to lock into that one receiver. You should go through his progressions real quick, because what's going to happen is one of those linebackers is going to read it, know where he's going to go, and he'll step in front of him, step in front of that pass like they almost did.
Clock running, 5 minutes to play. First quarter. Broman Field is the place. Battlefield District matchup between the Blue Devils and Courtland Cougars, and right now Courtland on top 13-0, and the Blue Devils face 3rd and 14 from the 21-yard line. They go back to the run of Malachi Terrell, and he won't pick up much. He attracts virtually every white jersey on the field there, and they stop him after a short gain. It brings up 4th down, and an obvious punt situation for the Blue Devil team.
It is, Mark, and now they got to get good blocking up front. Don't let Courtland come in and try to block this punt. And, and Courtland does have a dangerous returner back there. He's already shown, I think, who is it, number 20?
If you can pick up his number, the punt returners, or E.J. Rogers and Kawami Whitaker for the most part. Let's see, having difficulty picking up the number, but R.J. Uribe on to punt this one away, and he'll kick it from the 10. This kick will not be returned. It takes a Blue Devil roll, but they're going to down it at the 41. So once again, Courtland will have outstanding field position. Would you believe that on their own 41, this is the worst field position they've had tonight?
That's right.
They're living right.
They're living large. Mark, and we do want to, before our game started, I got a chance to talk to Foots Jennings. He's the father of Mister, and Mister is coaching Leeds McRae, the girls' college team. But he flew out today to San Francisco because the San Francisco Warriors, who he used to play for, they have this fan. You know, it's a lady, and she's grown up, and her favorite player is Mister, and she's she's got some handicaps, and she wanted for her birthday tomorrow is that she wanted to see Mister again. San Francisco called up Mister, flew him out there, and they're going to give her a surprise tomorrow.
How about that?
For her birthday.
Great story. E.J. Rogers on a reverse handoff gets to the outside midfield, Culpeper territory, and they drag him down near the 30-yard line. That was A.J. Marshall making the tackle for Culpeper. That's a good story. Here's another good story. Assistant coach for Culpeper, Joe Reeser, and his wife Lauren, had their second child born today, baby girl.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Joe and Lauren Reeser. And if you'll give me just a second, I can tell you the name. Let's see. Their little girl is Everly.
Everly, okay.
She was born early, 5 weeks early, but healthy, 5 pounds, 15 ounces. So congratulations to Joe and Lauren Reeser, their second baby born today. And this is number 11 for Courtland, Steve. We said that was Isaiah Spearman, and he does some damage for the Cougars there. Well, Joe Reeser not here tonight for that reason. That's an awfully good reason. Congratulations to the Reeser family. But I wanted to say, I was talking to Coach Ford. He said, well, you know, we just sort of coaching by committee tonight. But, of course, they're happy for him. So you got the good news about Jennings, San Francisco Warriors, before they became Golden State. Yeah.
Well, the Golden State Warriors, they flew them out. They were.
Oh, the current. Oh, you're talking about the current team, Golden State.
Current Golden State.
San Francisco takes us back to the days of guys like Nate Thurman.
Right, correct. Golden State Warriors.
Here's Spearman again. This time he reverses direction, and he actually finds some running room, despite the fact it looked like they had him bottled up. And he may have got inside that 10-yard. Well, we'll check the spot here in just a second. So that's a good story. Well, here's a trivia question for you. When did Golden State win the NBA title with Rick Barry?
Well, see, Rick Barry went to the first was in the ABA, and I want to say 72.
No, the answer is 1975.
Oh, okay.
But stick around. You're still eligible for Final Jeopardy, Steve. All right, E.J. Rogers straight ahead, breaking tackles, and then he stiff arms Marshall for the exclamation mark into the end zone for the second time tonight, and this time from 13 yards out. It's a 19-0 game in favor of the Courtland Cougars, and we haven't finished the first quarter yet.
I know, Mark. I'm just aghast at what I'm seeing, because when Culpeper's three-game winning streak, they were playing lights out on defense. They were really getting after it, and they're really hugging, but right now, Courtland's just rolling over them. They look like a JV team playing a varsity team.
Well, E.J. Rogers is making it look pretty easy out there.
Sure is. Now they're going to go for two.
Wojciechowski under center. Will it go to Rogers? It does. And they're going to stop him, it looks like, shy of the goal line. So the two-point conversion fails. They were going for it because it was 19-0.
Right.
But unless something drastically changes, I don't think that play is going to hurt Courtland tonight.
No, I don't think so. And again, but I'm just amazed at what's going on with the Blue Devils. They've got to find a way to get off the plate here a little bit and get an offense going, and at least try to instill some fear into the Courtland Cougars, because right now Courtland's just running all over them.
Well, Courtland, as we said, was 2-4 coming into the game. They were winners last week over Caroline, 47-6, and they beat James Monroe the week before, 21-14. But they dropped their first 4 games. They lost to Orange County, they lost to Louisa County, River Bend, and Spotsylvania. But it's sort of an interesting mix with the Cougars. They're 2-1 in the Battlefield District. Culpeper, we said 4-4 overall, and 1-2 in the district, I believe.
And see, it's right now in Courtland.
2-3 in the district.
Courtland doesn't have many players as they usually have, and they're just putting the wood to taking the Culpeper boys out to the woodshed right now.
One of the things that you can guarantee is going to be true, that J.C. Hall's teams are always going to be well coached, aren't they?
They sure are.
They keep this one short. This one's picked up inside the 20-yard line. This is Shakari Williams, I believe, or Edwards, I'm sorry. Yeah, haven't mentioned his name yet tonight. But it is Shakari Edwards on the return. And they'll mark it at the 20-yard line.
And I think, Mark, what they got to do, Culver's got to start opening it up a little bit, and to slow down this Courtland attack, because all they're doing is now they're just playing cover 2. Now they've got two safeties back, and they really lay off the slot receiver. But Culpepper, one thing I'm amazed by is that Courtland is a penalty mark against the Blue Devils. We'll see what it looks like another illegal block in the back. Yep, push. And the thing is, what I was getting ready to say is that Courtland runs up to the line of scrimmage after the huddle. They're ready to go. Again, Culpepper's starting to hang its head. They got plenty of football left, but they've got to have a gut check right here.
Yeah, I think they seem like they need to mix things up a little bit there on offense. We'll see what Bennett Sutherland does here. Well, the hands off to Malachi Terrell. He's found an opening out there on the outside, and he turns it upfield. He got across the 20-yard line, and that should be enough for a Blue Devil first down.
Is that the first down the Blue Devils had so far?
It is. Yeah. Well, we're down to, 2 minutes to play. First quarter action. We are at Broman Field. Courtland 19, Culpeper nothing. This is game 9 for the Blue Devils. They're 4-4, and they finish out the regular season. We were going to say next Friday night against Chancellor, but the game has been moved to Thursday. And that's because Chancellor has a really heavy schedule.
Right. They got to make up some games.
All right, here's Sutherland now on 1st and 10 from the 20. Malachi Terrell looking for some running room. And he does find a little bit, and he got to the 25-yard line. He'll pick up 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up. Clock continues to run. 1 minute 15 and counting.
Looks like it's still running.
Yeah.
But now, Mark, again, Culpeper, they got about 7 yards to get. Looks like 6 yards to go to get a first. And let's see if they can put together a drive right here.
Final minute ticking off here in this first quarter action. Bennett Sutherland takes the snap. Back to Malachi Terrell they go. Here's Terrell. Makes the cut. Gets to about the 30. That'll be close to another Blue Devil first down. And checking in the tackle there, number 6, Cole Bruce, the linebacker for Courtland. Another penalty flag down.
And I think this is going to go against the Blue Devils, Mark. Another hold. Let's see.
Well, if it is, early on, I would say they are being plagued by penalties.
Yeah, Courtland, they've only had 1 penalty against them.
And what was that? Was that a 5-yard penalty?
Yep.
Yeah. These are the big ones. The holdings.
Yeah, you get positive yardage, and all of a sudden you get a hold. And that to me is right now, are they prepared enough? What are the Blue Devils doing up front and blocking? Are they just going through the motions, or are they really trying to, get a good block? So right now, I said Culpeper's guessing a lot on offense. They haven't found their offense right now.
2nd and 12 now from the 18. Sutherland rolls to his right, picks up a block, throws on the run. Got a receiver out there. It's Cole Plaster. He takes a big hit just shy of midfield, but that's a Blue Devil first down. And, Steve, that's certainly the Blue Devils' longest play from scrimmage tonight.
And the best play all night from the line of scrimmage, Mark, because they did the right thing. They got Bennett Alexander out to roll on a rollout, and see everyone from Courtland is packing that box, thinking that Malachi is going to get it. And, you have one-on-one coverage with your receiver, and he found a play. He found his quarterback rolling out. He came back to the ball. Good catch by Plaster. Now see if they can put it together again.
And that was good for 25 yards and a Blue Devil first down. 1st and 10 now for Culpeper from its own 43. Could go back to the run, and Malachi Terrell stiff arms the first defender, breaks the second tackle. Courtland territory. Still on his feet. They strip the ball. Who's going to get it? Looks like the Blue Devils have recovered it. But rather than pouncing on it, it was Marshall picking it up and trying to run with it. Well, they got a lucky break there because they were able to strip the ball from Culpeper, but one of his teammates there, Marshall, recovered.
He covered, or I think they're saying Terrell, it was down on contact, Mark.
Okay.
Lucky break.
Well, he got down to the 34-yard line, and that's a pickup of 23 yards on the play, 16 and 7, right, 23 yards. Final seconds ticking off, so they may not get another play off before the quarter expires. And it looks like they're not interested in another play. So the final seconds will tick off, and it's official. This one's in the books. So at the end of the first quarter, it's Courtland 19, Culpeper nothing. We'll take a break, come back for the second quarter with the Blue Devils gaining a little bit of momentum here. Let's see what they can do when we come back for the second. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. From wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between. You'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Being a proud sponsor of Blue Devil Athletics.
Welcome back to Broman Field and to the start of the second quarter, which will witness Culpeper on offense. 1st and 10 from the Courtland 34, their best field position of the game so far. And if you're just tuning in, Courtland dominated the first quarter, and the Courtland Cougars lead 19-0 as we start this one. Bennett Sutherland, and I'll have Steve Peacock fill you in on how they were able to have some success on this drive. They go back to the run. Mrs. Malachi Terrell. And he'll inch his way forward for a couple of yards. But Steve, in this drive, Culpeper started on its own 20-yard line, and then they had the holding, pushed them back. They had the big play by Plaster, but what I think you liked was that they finally got Sutherland out of the pocket rolling and then throwing downfield.
Exactly, Mark, and it created a pocket, a lane for him to throw the ball in, and basically took the guesswork out of where Courtland was stacking the box to try to stop Terrell. Mm-hmm. And Terrell came to the sideline, I think equipment issue, and Edwards is in as a replacement.
Jakari Edwards will block for Bennett Sutherland. Steps up, greeted, and going to be stopped, and not on the ground, but stopped in his tracks anyway, and making the tackle. Charlie Henderson comes up from the defensive end's position. There he is, number 17. So it looked like he had some protection at first, and it broke down, Steve.
Yeah, it did. It broke down, and right then, also Bennett's got to learn too, right there on that, just to go to the ground. Don't try to keep staying up, because you can get the ball knocked away. I know you're trying to be, want to show some strength and everything. I get all that, but you're not helping your team by doing that. You should just go right to the ground, get ready, and get up and get ready for the next play.
We were talking about how important this drive is for Culpeper. All things considered, you trailed 19-0 starting the second quarter. This is your best field position of the game, but now you're back on your own 43 and looking at a 3rd and long. Here comes some pressure. Sutherland rolls right. Now he throws downfield. This one's going to be picked off if it's caught inbounds, and it is not. But excellent coverage out there. Defending against Cole Plaster was Courtland's number 23, Amir Mateo. Brings up a 4th down, and they'll have to punt this one away.
Yeah, but I don't think Culpeper's going to go for this one. They got to pin Courtland back and make him earn it. But again, right now, the Blue Devils just seem out of sort, Mark.
Well, we are live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. And R.J. Uribe on for the punt. So low snap, he gets it. Here's his kick. And he kicks it away from the intended receiver there. Takes a Blue Devil roll. And they're going to back him up this time, Steve, to the 9-yard line. And this is the worst field position Courtland has had in this game so far.
Yep, and let's see if Culpeper's defense can force a punt here and force a 3 and out. They've got to get Culpeper's defense got to get mean, pin their ears back, and just go after people. And because right now, what gets me, Mark, when I'm looking at both line of scrimmage, Courtland's owning the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively, and they got smaller kids.
Mm-hmm.
We're big up front, we're strong, and you get smacked in the mouth, but so many times you got to react.
Well, Coach Ford was talking about last week's game, the loss to James Monroe. The big thing that happened to the team was that they didn't tackle well. Mm-hmm. And tonight they're having trouble getting players like E.J. Rogers and Amir Mateo to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you got to go back to fundamentals. Wrap up, hit the guy, and wrap him up and bring him down. These kids today see so many players on the NFL just come in and want to act like a missile and hit you and think you're going to go down. That's not really the case here in high school ball. You got stronger kids, bigger kids going against smaller ones, so you got to use your leverage and go and wrap up.
All right, pick up 4 yards. Brings up 2nd and 6. Clock running, 9:30 to play, second quarter. Man in motion. Quick handoff. E.J. Rogers, right side, open field secondary. It's going to be a foot race here with Anthony Marshall giving chase to E.J. Rogers. He will not catch him. This is going to be, if this play stands, an 87-yard touchdown run by E.J. Rogers, his second of the game. Are they bringing it back? Or?
They're bringing it back because there'll be a flag right here. It looks like they're standing by it. E.J., that's going to take an 85-yard run out of the books.
But see, we were just talking about tackling.
Yeah, and no tackling. Too many arm tackles. But they got a break there because looks like Courtland got called for holding.
That's that would be their second penalty of the game. And it is a holding. Works against the Cougars. Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Fountain Sons, which is more than their respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Fountain Sons at 825-3530. Well, we have a timeout on the field, and our timeout sponsor is CFC Farm and Home Center. The service, knowledge, and products you need for your farm, home, pets, livestock, and equine since 1932. So 9:18 to play, second quarter action. Steve, the Blue Devils missed an opportunity on their last possession. A good punt pinned Courtland down to the 9-yard line, and then looks like, I guess you would say, the Blue Devils can breathe a sigh of relief because even though E.J. Rogers took off for 87 yards and what it looked like an apparent touchdown, they brought it back for the holding.
I mean, if it wasn't for that holding, just think of the first half E.J. Rogers have. He'd be on pace to get a 400-yard rushing game. And right now, Culpeper, they took a timeout. Coaches went and talked to the defense, said, "Look, guys, we're not staying in our gaps. We're getting blocked too easily. We're not finding the football, and we're letting them make too easy, big plays. Too many big plays."
All right, back to the action. 1st and 10 from the 20. And I believe this is Rogers, and they're going to stack him up shy of the line of scrimmage. And I think that's the first time he doesn't pick up any positive yardage.
No, that was good.
That was number 23, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Amir Mateo.
Yeah, they're going to only Rogers is not going to be on the sideline, but so long. I mean, he is their go-to guy. I mean, he's got the speed, but they want to give him a rest because he did sprint 87 yards, but he outran the whole Culpeper defense.
Yeah, and I think he might have been a little winded after that play.
I would think.
Naturally speaking, deservedly so. Wojciechowski, the quarterback, got to find that ball. It's coming near side. And this is the running back. That is Kamari Jackson. Got across the 30 out to, and there's another penalty flag down. I'm assuming this was against the Cougars.
We'll see where this one is, and looks like it's going to be. Let's see what the call is. Yeah, it's going to go against Courtland because they're talking to Will Holland, number 53.
Right. All right. Well, we'll tell you also this Broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 547-3673. So another holding penalty, Steve.
Yep.
Pushes the ball back to the 19-yard line. I think it's where it's going to be 2nd and 11. And it is. 8:27 to play. Second quarter action. 19-0 in favor of the Courtland Cougars. This is game 9 for the Blue Devils this season. They're 4-4 overall. And again, they'll finish the season next Thursday against Chancellor, the regular season, that is.
Right.
We expect to see them in the postseason. E.J. Rogers, the ball carrier, out across the 20, out to about the 23. We'll pick up 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Now Culpeper's got to stop him right here, Mark. They've got to be able to get in there and get to the ball, not let Rogers pick up this 7 yards for first down.
Let me ask you something. I don't know. Has Courtland faced a 3rd down in this game? And I don't think they have.
I don't think they have, Mark.
This will be the first 3rd down attempt, 3rd down conversion attempt, that is, for Courtland coming up here. 3rd and 7 from the 23. This is Mateo. Got away from the first defender. Still on his feet and diving for that mark. And he may be there. Looks like he got out to the 30-yard line.
It looks like he's going to get it. Yep, first down.
That was just really solid effort. And I think they did a nice job of the little misdirection there.
Yep.
To keep the Blue Devil defense guessing.
And that's what that single wing does. And
well, we saw the single wing last week against in Spotsylvania uses it. And that's kind of tough because you never know who the ball is going to be snapped to. Here in the wing tee, you see your quarterback under center. You know it's going to start with him.
Right.
But with this misdirection back there and your wing back, it's really another test for a defense to adapt to.
With a single wing, you can hike it to any.
Exactly. Yeah, you never know who's going to be hiked to. And here is Mateo getting into the Blue Devil secondary. This looks like E.J. Rogers, except this time it's Mateo, and he goes the distance unless there's a penalty flag down, and I don't see one. If that's the case, this will be a 70-yard touchdown run by Amir Mateo.
Mark, there's going to be a penalty, though, for excess celebration. He took a flip into the end zone. That's a big no-no, and they might if they're going to give him the score, we'll see.
I think they keep the score, and then they would tack it on the kickoff, right? Which means they'll probably have to kick it from the 50-yard. Rather than 35, they'll back it up 15.
And knowing Coach Hall, I guarantee he's in the ear hole on that ear hole in the helmet.
Probably not too impressed with that play.
No. It's great he's got the run, but now that wasn't Rogers, was it?
That was Amir Mateo, number 23. And it looked like that Rogers run.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it covered 70 yards. And Courtland up 25-0 here. 6:52 to play second quarter.
They're going to go for 2 here, I think, Mark. Try to go 27-0. Yeah, unsportsmanlike, Courtland.
After the play, unsportsmanlike.
So we were talking about when has Courtland been in a 3rd down situation? Once, and they converted. Then they go back here and rattle off a 70-yard run for a touchdown. Here is Liam Wojciechowski, the quarterback under center. Going to roll to his right, going to look for a receiver. Here comes the pressure. Throws to the end zone. This one incomplete.
2-point try is no good.
And that was intended for number 6, Cole Bruce, to bring it in. I don't think it's going to hurt Courtland's chances tonight. They're up 25-0, and we're not even at the midway mark in that second quarter yet.
Yeah, you're right. And now Culpeper is going to benefit here because Courtland's, the penalty on unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be assessed on the kickoff. So they're, Culpeper should get the ball in good field position.
All right. Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. All right. And, Steve, I know they don't have a magic wand, but what can they do to try to turn things around here?
I don't know, Mark. I'm at loss of words right now. They don't have a good passing attack. they can hopefully that Courtland will self-destruct in the second half. But the game was lost on that first series where Culpeper just got rolled over, and they haven't been able to react to it since.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things from my observational point is this, Steve. It looks to me like the running backs, Rogers and Mateo, are able to get into that Blue Devils secondary quickly.
Yeah, you're right. They are. They're able to get right in it. And
here's the kickoff. They keep it low. They keep it short. It's going to be picked up inside the 45-yard line. This is Edwards on the return. He didn't gain a lot, but they started out with excellent field position to begin when he did receive the ball. So they're going to have it across the Culpeper 45. So field position isn't a problem right now for Culpeper, but execution and seeing a drive to its conclusion probably is.
Well, Courtland's relying on his defense. That's the ultimate insult to Culpeper. We're not even kicking it deep to you. We'll kick it short and we'll give you the great field position because we trust our defense is going to keep you to a 3 and out, and we're going to get the ball back. And that's what's been going on the whole first half.
Right. So Culpeper back on offense at its own 48. They trailed 25-0. 6:44 to play, second quarter, Broman Field. This was senior recognition night. Malachi Terrell looking for some running room. And he reversed his direction a couple times. He got across midfield. Looks like out to the Courtland 48. Pick up a 4 yards on the play. And bring up 2nd down and 6.
And see, Terrell hasn't had his accustomed big, breakaway run yet so far in this game. And, because right now, Courtland's bottling, they're playing 8 men in the box, and they're just basically, look how they line up. Where, they're daring Culpeper to throw the ball.
Well, you're exactly right. They play up close. Here comes Sutherland. Here comes the pitch. Here's Malachi Terrell. And he couldn't shake the initial hit there from Courtland's Adam Meek, who came up from his linebacker's position to make a solo tackle on Malachi Terrell before he could even think about getting unleashed.
That was a good execution by that Courtland defensive back, Mark. He played it exactly like he had to play it. And he brought Terrell down. And now it brings up 3rd and, I'm going to say 12, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. From the Culpeper 46. So here's a 3rd and long for Bennett Sutherland and his teammates. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Malachi Terrell back there with him. They fake it to him. Now Sutherland throws. He's got a receiver out there. It's Larry Williams fighting for additional yardage. They're going to mark him shy of that Courtland 45.
And again, that was a good look, good throw right there. Alexander had some time, but again, it wasn't deep enough. Now brings up a 4th down. It's Culpeper. I think they got to go for it.
I think you do at this point because you don't really have anything to gain by turning a ball back over to Courtland. They don't need a short field or a long field.
No, it's true. And it's like now they're going to sit there and see if they're going to. Now I bet you're going to try to do it. They're going to do a hard count, I would think, first.
They load up the right side with 3 receivers, and then they send 1 to the left. Malachi Terrell back there. Courtland showing pressure. They fake it to Terrell. Here's Bennett Southern throwing near side. This is Marshall. He needs a block. And let's see where they're going to mark it. He's going to be kind of close, but he looks like he's going to be a little bit short from here.
Yeah, but see where they're probably going to have to measure on this one.
Courtland celebrating as though they think he didn't get it. And in fact, they're bringing in their offensive team. And I don't think he got it.
They're looking. He's trying to.
I think that Marshall needed 1 block to spring him, and he didn't really get it. Well, now they're saying he's got a 1st down. So Courtland celebrated prematurely.
Yep.
Maybe I announced it prematurely.
I did too. I mean, they're sitting there.
Well, then you got to give the credit to A.J. Marshall.
And Coach Hall said, what are you doing? He said, there's no replay in high school ball. So I think they're going to try to measure it.
Well, they ought to at least do that, right?
Yep, especially where they mark it.
Well, as they sort this one out, we'll say this broadcast is brought to you in part by Copper Fish and Time Market. From wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between. You'll find it all at Copper Fish and Time Market.
Just a bit short on that 4th down play.
All right, so what's the call?
Downs makes it 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
All right, so he didn't get it.
He didn't get it.
Now they're saying he didn't get it.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
So it's a turnover on downs. Well, Marshall did everything he could to get it, but he just didn't have much help out there.
Yep.
And now Courtland back on offense. From the Culpeper 43. E.J. Marshall bounces to the outside. They chase him. They don't catch him. And now Rogers goes back to work, doing more damage. Finally forced out of bounds by Anthony Marshall.
And we got another flag on the play too, because it might be a late hit against Culpeper on the out of bounds play. We'll see. He was out.
One of the things I'm curious about, Steve, could that penalty be against Courtland for Rogers putting his hand in the face mask?
Could be. Could be a face mask, offensive face mask.
Here it comes right here. I mean, it might have been my perception, and it could have been very well flawed. We'll see. But the man in the white hat's going to tell us here momentarily.
They're moving the chain, so he did get the.
It's a dead ball foul, but it is against Culpeper. I was wrong.
Dead ball, personal foul. But I thought it was a late hit because he was already out of bounds. He'd slowed up, and then all of a sudden he got pushed in the back. So
The result of the play was a first down.
Well, they call it insult to injury. They move the ball down now to the Culpeper 22. E.J. Rogers just having a really fine football game.
looks like he's having a career night against the Blue Devils right here. And Mark, and look at the the Culpepers just look like they just got run over by a bulldozer.
Well, bulldozer by the name of Rogers and one by the name of Mateo.
Yep.
And Liam Wojciechowski, the quarterback, hands off to Rogers straight ahead. Deontay Ford.
Rogers gets it going straight ahead.
And Culpeper's Bailu
Picks
Kabidi
up about
combined
8
for the
yards.
tackle. After he got to the 15, a pickup of 7 yards. 2nd and 3 coming up.
That Rogers is a stud. I mean, he's listed at 5'11", 185 pounds, but he runs so much tougher than that.
Well, the Blue Devils can be thankful he's a senior.
Yep. That's some good optimism.
But how about Mateo? Where does he is we got Mateo on the list. He's a sophomore.
Yep.
Wojciechowski, the quarterback. He's a junior. All right, up to the right goes the running back there, Logan Hayes, his first carry of the night.
Ball carrier
Looks like he got to the 10. That'll be enough for a first down. They'll reset the sticks.
And Mark, one thing, the beauty about the wing tee is you don't have to have big offensive linemen to run it. You know why? Because it's so much misdirection. You just got to get the lineman just got to get in the way, and then the back runs off either way. Which way the lineman is facing that defender. And right now they're taking Culpeper to the woodshed.
And they didn't have to reset the sticks because the ball is at the 10. That means it's 1st and goal from there.
Right.
We have 3:29 to play here in the second quarter. Courtland up 25-0 and looking for more. Wojciechowski, the quarterback, hands off. E.J. Rogers, straight ahead they go, and they stop him for a gain of maybe a yard. Deontay Ford and Corey Hutcherson combined for the Blue Devil tackle.
And Deontay Ford team up for the stop.
Now, big
Short gain on the play,
second
maybe
down.
a yard.
Yeah, 2nd and goal from the 9.
2nd and goal.
Clock
Courtland.
running, 3:10 to play, second quarter action. All right, so Eastern View's in action tonight, too, Steve. They're playing King George. That's probably the best team in the district.
One of the best teams in the state is King George right now. And the other thing is I didn't know, like Matoka, they've dropped down to Division III. You've seen Lake Taylor dropping down to Division III. And some
good news for the Class 4 teams.
Yep.
E.J. Rogers, again the ball carrier, and he
E.J. Rogers
glides his way into the end zone once again, this time from 9 yards out. And touchdown for Courtland makes it 31-0 here with 2:42 to play in the second quarter.
And all Courtland's got to do here is they get another score in the second half, it's going to be a running clock. And but I was getting ready to talk about Lake Taylor's Varina used to be a Division VI, now Division IV, and former Culpeper coach Ken Wakefield's coaching the Patrick Henry, the Patriots in Ashland, and they lost last week. They have
TH did.
Yep. Okay. They have a 4-2. They're a 4-2 record, but they're still way up there in the power ratings.
For the 2-point try now, Olavella, the ball carrier. This play developed slowly, but he finds his way into the end zone, and the 2-point try is good, makes it 33-0. Well, I was going to say something, Steve, for your input or reaction too. I think E.J. Rogers, very fine running back. He sort of runs like, I know I can get to the end zone. I just want to have a little fun on the way there.
That's true. I mean, he doesn't have lightning quick speed. He's just strong.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Culpeper's not putting up any type of defense against him. I mean, he hits his line's doing a great job blocking for him, and he hits that hole hard. But you're not going to arm tackle that kid, and you got to be able to put a helmet on him. And right now, that's not what Culpeper's done.
Yeah, and they're really in a hole deep early on here, 33-0.
Yep.
First half action. So maybe we can get a score on that Eastern View King George game.
Yeah, if King George played anything like against Culpeper a couple weeks ago, I think Eastern View is going to be in for a long night. Because I don't see anybody in their secondary be able to cover those two.
Well, and I was going to say, I mean, you know, the key feature, I think, for King George is you've got that passing attack with those two Division I prospect receivers. Then you got Kyle Ravello, and you've got Zach Ferguson.
Yep, and Gabe Alley.
They've got a lot of weapons there. Jakari Edwards on the return. He thinks he took a late hit, but doesn't bring a penalty. And Culpeper will have good field position out to about the 45-yard line. But having good field position is nice, but being able to put together a sustained drive and coming away with some points is something that has eluded Culpeper so far tonight.
Yeah, they don't want to get they want to be able to keep the clock going here, and so they can get in halftime to down 34-0, because if it was 2:35 to go here in the first half, they don't want to turn that ball back over to Courtland, let Courtland come down for a touchdown.
When we come back for the third quarter kickoff, the Blue Devils will be receiving it. And right now it's 33-0. I'm sure they'd love to put together a scoring drive before this intermission, but it could be a tough task ahead of them. Here's Bennett Sutherland. He's going to throw. He's got a receiver, and that's Marshall. He got into Courtland territory at the 48.
I think that's what they got to do, Mark, in order to, keep the chains moving. They've got to start passing and throwing the ball, because they're not having any success with running it with Terrell back there, because they're all keying on him.
Right. And, 2 and 3 yards, or even 4 yards a pop's not going to help you too much if you're trying to overcome this deficit. You got to throw it. You got to mix it in with the run some. But you see Malachi Terrell, not much running room there, as they're able to get quickly to the ball. Several white jerseys there. You've got number 56, Dylan Reed, or Deion Reed rather, and Cole Bruce has been on the tackle. He's had a pretty good football game on the defensive side of the field. But you haven't really had to call Courtland defensively much tonight, because their offense has been terrific.
It's true. Now see what kind of defense Courtland has here. See if Culpeper can pick up this third and short.
Now from the Courtland 46. Minute 25 to go, counting second quarter action. Here's Bennett Sutherland. Here comes the pressure. He steps up. They got him by the jersey, and he won't be able to get away from number 56. Was the ball loose and recovered by Courtland?
Yes.
Sure was. Well, the guy who took him to the ground was Deion Reed. Then the ball came loose, and Courtland has recovered it at the Culpeper 41. And you were just talking about that, Steve. The thing that they could ill afford was to turn the ball back over to Courtland and maybe have them get another score before this first half expires.
It's the full moon. That's vexing Culpeper right now, the full moon. Boy, it's pretty.
It really is. Johnny Krawchuk, our man behind the camera, of course, doing a great job and zeroing in on the moon. Is there a man in the moon tonight? You can almost see him here from here.
Yeah.
But, I was going to say thanks to Nicole Wooten back in the studio as well. We are live tonight.
We are that.
And we talk about being live. We have our live sponsor. That's Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. Wojciechowski going to throw. He's got a man out there, and this one's incomplete. I think he underthrew him, because there for a moment it looked like Kawami Whitaker was open.
He was.
And I think if he had not underthrown him, he might have been in the end zone.
He would have been in the end zone if he hadn't underthrown him. He had him. If he had just had thrown that ball about a yard further, he would have caught that ball and just strolled right in the end zone, because it caught Culpeper napping in the secondary.
Well, you didn't hardly expect Wojciechowski to throw the ball, but they've got to keep the defense on its toes, and mix it up as well. They've had a terrific rushing attack tonight. We don't know how many yards E.J. Rogers has compiled, but he has had some long ones. His teammate Amir Mateo has done so as well. This is Rogers again, going back to work. Got inside the Blue Devil 35, down to the 33. Larry Williams, the linebacker, makes the stop for Culpeper.
Timeout, Courtland.
All right, Courtland calls a timeout, and our timeout sponsor this year is CFC Farm and Home Center. The service, knowledge, and products you need for your home, your farm, your pets, livestock, and equine since 1932. That's CFC Farm and Home Center.
So, Courtland's got a third down here, less than a yard, really, to get first down. Got a minute 2 here to go in the second quarter, and Culpeper's got to do their darndest, Mark, to keep them from getting in an end zone, because it'll be an over second half will go by quick.
If I said, even the man in the moon is crying, Johnny Krawchuk, as a former DJ at WCUL-FM 103.1, would know I was talking about a song by a country singer, Mark Colley. Even the man in the moon is crying.
Or, you go back to your class of Moon River.
Moon. Oh, Andy Williams. Yeah. I guess there's been a lot of songs about the moon. How about Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of with the moon? It's got to be a song. And they sing a lot about the rain, of course.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. My memory.
Well, that's okay. I caught you a little off guard. Well, here's third down and 1. And this is Mateo, number 23. They spin him down after he got inside the 25-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Courtland has 56 seconds to use here in this second half. Probably looking for another score. They have it at the Culpeper 23, where it is 1st and 10.
Yeah, and the clock will start running after they get the yard marker set. So.
Well, Steve, if Courtland does score here, of course, that gives them a 35-plus advantage differential. That means in the second half we would have a continuously running clock. Coming near side is a Courtland ball carrier who reversed his direction and then wrestled down there. That was Kamari Jackson. And it looks like making the tackle for Culpeper was number 70, Sean Updike.
And it's going to be timeout again, Courtland. And still 28 seconds. They can do some damage.
Well, let's look at the schedule for both our teams. Culpeper tonight playing home to Courtland, senior recognition night. The next Thursday, rather than next Friday, they're going to be at Chancellor to close out the regular season. Their crosstown rival, Eastern View Cyclones, they're playing home to King George tonight. And then next Friday, they will play at Courtland.
Yeah.
And then they have that extra game tacked on to the end of their regular season, Steve, November 5. They play home to the Millbrook Pioneers. How good is Millbrook, and where are they classified?
They're Class 4. They're in Winchester, in Frederick County, and they're not having a good year. I think they've won once. So.
All right, after the timeout, Courtland, 2nd and 8 from the 21. Here is Wojciechowski throwing downfield into the end zone, incomplete. And the receiver wants a penalty flag, and he may or may not get one. The intended receiver there was number 14, Kawami Whitaker, a junior receiver.
Yeah, the receivers thought because the defender pulled him down, but the ball wasn't catchable to begin with, so that's why.
There's your new mascot, Steve. You know his name, don't you?
Dante.
His name is Dante. Yep, they unveiled him tonight before the start of this game.
Can you see him dance around in basketball games in a hot gym and that thing? Ooh. It'd be hot.
Probably lose a few pounds.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. E.J. Rogers outside. Got some running room. 10, 5. Looking for the pylon. Won't make it this time. But he got down to about the 1 or 2. A little shaken up on the play was Quentin Butler, who will get credit for the tackle for Culpeper.
Yep, and it's going to be right outside. He's got 15.7 seconds, and they got one timeout left. Courtland does.
First down, Courtland.
And they're going to want to punch this in here, Mark, and let's see if the Blue Devils can do a goal line stand right here.
Ball at the 2. And like you said, 15.7 seconds showing on the clock. And if Courtland scores here, that's going to make the differential 35 plus. So we'll be looking at a continuously moving clock in the second half. Wojciechowski under center. E.J. Rogers, the ball carrier. He is into the end zone for another Courtland touchdown. And that from 2 yards out, that'll make it 39-0 with 11.5 seconds to play here in this second quarter.
Is Courtland going to go for 2 or just go on for the extra point and make it 40-0? I think they want to go for 2 and see what, because that means, if they go up for 2, it's 41. And if Culpeper were to score, it's 11 from, the running clock would stop.
And I'm not sure to what degree they have much confidence in their kicking game. So it may be the 2-point conversion is a higher percentage play for this team. We'll see. They give it to E.J. Rogers. That's always a good call, except the Blue Devils stopped him this time. Yard shy of the goal line. That was Deontay Ford and Cole Plaster combining for the Blue Devil tackle.
Cole Plaster helping out on that stop.
39-0 in favor of the Courtland Cougars. I don't know, Steve. I didn't think
take it to the woodshed, Mark.
Yeah, I just didn't think it would play out this way.
No, I didn't either. I thought Culpeper would come fired up and ready to play, but it's right now, you just looked at how dejected they look. I mean, it's, they got to go out here now for the kickoff, and they better, secure the football because they've still got 11.5 seconds to go. Maybe Culpeper can find some salvation here and see if they can run one back.
I think if we go back to how this first half has played out, it would seem to me like Culpeper's problems began early on. They gave up bad field position on the opening possession to Courtland, and then it only took Courtland 2 plays from scrimmage to score its first touchdown.
Yep, you're right.
And they've just been able to run with ease, and really, except for a penalty or two, they did bring one of those touchdowns back, but Courtland has run at will, and that's what it's come down to. And we mentioned how the running backs get into that Blue Devil secondary so quickly. Jakari Edwards on the return. And nothing doing.
There's going to be a flag here. So there might be a little bit bad block against Culpeper. Because 51 got up and was saying, we'll see what the call is here. It might be against Courtland. Let's see what they're talking to. It's thrown way after it was thrown on this block up here. So we'll see what the call is.
Well, when they set this, the Blue Devils will have 8.2 seconds to play here in this first half.
Against Culpeper, yep.
It's almost all too predictable on these kickoff and punt returns, isn't it?
Well, how many yards, one thing we haven't really talked about, Mark, is the penalties against Culpeper in the first half. I mean, they're getting up to almost being like 60 to 80 yards in penalties.
Remember when we first got into broadcasting, we had a couple of statisticians, guys by the name of Lance Warren and then Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
We'd be able to pass that along, huh?
That's right.
Yeah. Haven't seen Lance since then. I have seen Ricky Henderson in recent times. Malachi Terrell, the ball carrier, breaks the tackle, keeps his footing, looking for more yards, refusing to go down as that's going to be the last play of this first half. And so as these two teams go to their locker room, for the intermission, the Courtland Cougars well out in front, 39-0. Enjoy the halftime, and we'll come back when the third quarter begins, and the Blue Devils will be receiving the third quarter kickoff. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. From wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between, You'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. More than just a...
Now entering the field for your halftime entertainment.
So they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Drum major Chloe Warman, is your band ready?
Well, welcome back to our broadcast at Broman Field, where we are live for tonight's action between the Blue Devils and the visiting Courtland Cougars. I'm Mark O'Connell alongside Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera, and Nicole Wooten back in the studio at the Culpeper Media Network. Proud to bring you all the action. Unfortunately for the Blue Devils, it was all Courtland in that first half, Steve Peacock, and by my notes, unofficially had Courtland's E.J. Rogers with 4 rushing touchdowns and his teammate Amir Mateo with 2. And so that's 6 touchdowns times 6 equals 36 points. And then the 3 extra points gives us our 39-point score for Courtland. And they not only ran roughshod over the Blue Devil defense, but the Courtland defense really wasn't put much to the test, really.
No, they weren't, Mark. And, you know, I would say Rogers is probably getting up close to 175, 200 yards. His teammate Mateo is probably knocking on the 100-yard door as well. But again, here we go. It's going to be a running clock here in the second half. Do want to give our viewers an update. King George is beating Eastern View at halftime. The score is 13-0. But Eastern View looks like they've came to play, and that's a very Eastern View's not out of that ball game with a score only down 13 to King George.
Well, Steve, the quarterback is also kicking tonight for Courtland. That's Liam Wojciechowski, number 7. Kicks off. They keep it on the ground. They keep it short. This is going to be picked up inside the 25-yard line. And that looks like Marshall on the return. And he gives the Blue Devils some life here on the special teams play. Nice return by Anthony Marshall. And the Culpeper offense, which was struggled in the first half, will at least start with outstanding field position here in the third.
Yep. And to see if they can, get the score. If they score, the clock will go back or revert back to a regular game clock, because it's got to be a 35-point deficit.
I was just telling Steve before we went back on the air that when you have a continuously moving clock, that half will go very quickly.
Yep.
In fact, I was telling him I may have to rush in trying to get our sponsor spots in there, because you just don't have a lot of time when they're not stopping play. Malachi Terrell with a nice run down to about the 32. He'll be close to a Blue Devil first down. But you said the score at half in crosstown between Eastern View and King George was 13-0. That tells me that Eastern View, like you said, came to play. And if you're down 13-0 in the half, you're in contention.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how that game finishes out. But it looks like right now Culpeper, I think they got a stern talking to in the halftime a little bit. And they're playing a little bit more sense of urgency.
Malachi Terrell, the ball carrier, and he's dragged down by the linebacker Cole Bruce. And shy of the 30-yard line at the 31. He picked up just 1 yard and bring up second down and 9.
And they're looking to get the play, but I mean, right now it's just that Culpeper is just, if they can just get a score that would at least move them in the right direction.
Do you wonder maybe at the intermission what Coach Ford and his staff could have told his players to try to shake things up here in the second half?
Well, just play our football and play just, it's a new half, 0-0, and see if they can, find some offense, but not like there.
Yeah, they won't find it here. They faked it to Terrell, and then Sutherland kept it, and he was smothered. 3 or 4 Courtland players combined for the tackle, including Cole Bruce. And I probably called his name on defense more tonight from the Cougar standpoint than have anyone else. He seems to be, he has a good nose for the football.
And see, right now, Mark, basically it is, Culpeper doesn't have any other players other than Malachi Terrell, from an offensive standpoint. And Courtland knows that. They're saying, hey, we're not going to let Terrell beat us, and see if the other boys can beat us. And right now, definite passing situation here.
3rd and 14, Blue Devils from the Cougar 35. Opening drive of this third quarter, but we're already down to the 9-minute mark. Like I said, this one will go quickly with the continuously moving clock. It'll stop for timeouts and injuries. Here is Sutherland, going to throw over the middle. This one's going to be nearly picked off. And then Anthony Marshall came back to try to break up the interception. And it looked like it was Amir Mateo trying to haul it in for the pick.
Now brings up 4th down, Mark, 4th and 14. And, Culpeper's got to go for it, obviously. They can't punt it here.
Really had no choice. And even on the incomplete pass, the clock continues to run.
Yep.
8:30 and counting, third quarter action. Our score, 39-0 Courtland. Bennett Sutherland in the gun. Malachi Terrell to his right. With a protection hold up. Sutherland ducked away from it, throws downfield. This one picked off. That is going to be by Amir Mateo. And here he is on the return, breaking tackles. Bennett Sutherland has a chance at him, and it looks like they're going to finally force him out of bounds at the Culpeper 40-yard line.
And again, like I said, the clock's still running.
First down for the Cougars.
Yeah. Well, we'll tell you then, this broadcast brought to you in part by Fountain Sons. More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Fountain Sons at 825-3530. Steve, I need that sort of accelerated voice you hear in commercials where they're doing those disclaimers and that sort of thing.
Right.
Where a guy talks a mile a minute trying to get them all in, right?
Yeah, it sure does. It looks like, the clock stopped right now because Uribe's walking off. It looks like he injured his leg a little bit, and but now the clock will start running as soon as he hits the sideline. And because of an injury, it does stop in injuries, and that's it.
Courtland on offense now for the first time in the third quarter. And they're going to have the Culpeper 42. Wojciechowski remains the quarterback. Here is the ball carrier. This may be his first carry tonight. That's number 9, Logan Hayes.
Man, like I said, he's right now. Culpepper's just, I hate to say it, but they've looked like they've just been hit by a juggernaut, and they don't know how to stop it. And
Hayes 13 yards in the pickup. I'd be real surprised if Courtland were to play E.J. Rogers in this half.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's you don't want him obviously to get hurt, but you also don't want him. He wants to be up there, one of the area leaders, and he doesn't. He's still got about 300 or 400 yards to catch Terrell overall.
Well, they go back to Hayes again, the ball carrier, and he picks his way for yardage. Got inside the 25. It's Quentin Butler getting a hand up from the Courtland players. Butler in on the tackle for Culpeper, and they will mark it at the 24. So he picked up 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up. Clock running. 6:25 to go here in the third. I just think you're going to see Courtland really go deep to its bench.
Yeah, I would too. I would expect that. If they score here, they will, and then see what happens. But again, it's they want to score here so they know that the clock will continue to run.
I was wrong about Rogers. He is in the backfield now. But this is Hayes again, the ball carrier. He reverses direction, picks up positive yardage, gets down to about the 15 where Cole Plaster makes the tackle for Culpeper.
And Mark, you saw right there the misdirection. Culpeper player thought he had the sack in the backfield, and he didn't have the ball. And Culpeper just didn't do enough good job in the first half of finding the football. And they're losing their gaps, and they're either overshooting or they're just allowing the play of Courtland dictate instead of the Blue Devils dictating play against Courtland, especially on defense.
Well, they need a shot of confidence, and the question is from what source would they get that tonight? They may not. E.J. Rogers back there, Wojciechowski under center, Rogers the ball carrier, and this time they wrap him up in the backfield. Making the tackle was number 46 for Culpeper. Steve, we had him as so you've got him on your roster, don't you? Yeah, that's Jared Brundage, because he had changed numbers this season.
And, Mark, again, where was that play, though, in the first half? Doing a run blitz. Because that's what you'd have to do against Courtland with that misdirection. And it looked like the interior line of Culpeper got in the backfield. So now, like I said, clock's still running.
Yeah, it's going to go quickly. We're down to 4:40 and counting. The loss of 4 yards makes it 2nd and 14. Courtland from the Culpeper 20. That's Hayes in motion. This is Wojciechowski throwing downfield into the end zone. He's got a receiver, and it's going to be a touchdown. This catch hauled in by number 14, Kawami Whitaker.
And that was a good play by the quarterback of Courtland because he was being ready to get sacked. He just threw it up there, and where was it? There was no defense back there. So now it makes it 45-0.
Yep. And the first touchdown pass of the game tonight for Courtland comes in the third quarter here, and they're up 45-0. Clock continues to run.
And they're going to try an extra point this time.
All right, and it's going to be Amir Mateo on for the point after. His kick is looks like it's barely going to clear the crossbar. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to clear it.
Just got to clear it.
But I was telling you about the kicking game, Steve. If you look at that, and I'm not taking anything away from Mateo, but, I mean, kicking like that tells you that ordinarily they're probably going to go for 2.
Yeah.
But here they don't have to, obviously. Yeah. But I was talking about the first touchdown pass to Whitaker. If you look at that first half, it was a dominant running game. Maybe dominant's an understatement by Courtland. 6 rushing touchdowns, 4 by E.J. Rogers, 2 by Amir Mateo. And now they go to the pass here in the third quarter. And 46-0 is our score. Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 547-3673.
And Mark, is my recollection, I don't think Courtland's punted all game.
They have not.
They've scored almost on every possession.
Remember when we were trying to discern whether or not they'd even face a third down?
Yep.
That's how potent their offensive attack was in this first half. And you got to call it the way it is. I mean, you just can't take anything away from them. And Culpeper has struggled against this game, and they began struggling early on. Short kick. This one's fielded near the 40. And the return man there for Culpeper was number 22, Devin Polari. And making another tackle for Courtland was number 6, Cole Bruce.
Yeah, I don't understand why Courtland is kicking off short like that. I mean, you know, you would think they'd kick longer, but again, that means they're just saying we don't think Culpeper's going to score on us. So,
well, you know what I think, Steve? I think it's a safe bet to say that Courtland does not have a Mike Greenaway type kicker.
Right.
But then who does, right?
No, that's true. Who does?
At a high school level, they're kind of hard to find those guys. But I just don't think that the kicking game is the strength of this Courtland team, and it hasn't had to be for certain. Malachi Terrell leads his directs his lead blocker. He gets behind him, waits for the play to develop, gets down close to the it's like the 40-yard line. So from the Culpeper 43 down to the Courtland 41, picked up 16 yards and a Blue Devil first down. But wow, you look at the clock, Steve,
Yep.
a minute 20 and counting. You'll say, where did this third quarter go? Well, it just never really stopped the clock.
No, you're right. And it's like it's a running clock. And right now, you know, Culpeper's just trying to, you know, Courtland's been loading the box to stop Terrell, and they just don't have anybody else that's been able to step up tonight and to, you know, help the team.
All right, this is Terrell again. He's got some running room. He picks up block, 30, 25, 20. Lowers his shoulder, and they finally knock him out of bounds near the 5-yard line. Longest run of the night for Malachi Terrell.
But it's coming back, Mark. It's going to be a block in the back against Culpeper.
All right, as they assess this one, we'll tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by Copperfish and Time Market. From wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between, you'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. Also, cash imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with cash imprints. 317-1473.
Yep, it came back. It's holding. So now instead of being down on the 5, it's going to be on the
31.
31.
And the clock continues to run.
Yep.
Down to 30 seconds here in this third quarter.
First down yardage on the carry.
Bennett Sutherland, your quarterback. Malachi Terrell on his left. 2 receivers to the left. And they're going to hand it off to Malachi Terrell. He's going to direct his way down to about the 25-yard line.
And see, that's what they should have been doing, using those big offensive linemen as road graders. Because look at the defensive line of Culpeper. I mean, of Courtland. They're not that physical. But again, it's just that Culpeper just can't seem to get off first base on offense tonight. They just, other than Terrell, and I heard people down at halftime just saying that we're just too one-dimensional, and that's basically now the good teams know how to defend us. Culpeper, they just stack the box, and they're saying, okay, Ben Alexander and company beat us with a passing game. And I just don't think Culpeper had any answers tonight for Courtland. I really don't.
Well, we played 3 quarters here at Broman Field. Our score, Courtland 45, Culpeper nothing. We'll take a break, come back for the 4th quarter right after this. Stay tuned.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with cash imprints. 317-1473. From wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between. You'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Welcome back to our broadcast and the start of the 4th quarter, which sees Culpeper on offense at the Courtland 25 and looking at 2nd and 5. And this is going to be the handoff to Malachi Terrell, and Cole Bruce again making another tackle for Courtland. And Steve, the 3rd quarter went in lightning fashion. and it's 45-0 in favor of Courtland. Of course, this fourth quarter will go equally as fast, I would imagine.
And I think Culpeper will live to play another day, but you know they're on that 3-game winning streak, and then they ran into you know they handled Spotsylvania, but they just couldn't handle King George and James Monroe and now Courtland. So you know, but they can still get in the playoffs, Mark. I mean, even if they're obviously going to lose tonight, and they can't. Even if they lose next week, they still don't drop farther than 8th. They take the top 18.
Yeah.
So it just be an away game.
Yeah, right now they're in the fifth spot.
Yep.
And Culpeper does call a timeout. Well, you know, our timeout sponsor is CFC Farm and Home Center. The service, knowledge, and products you need for your farm, home, pets, livestock, and equine since 1932. And, of course, we mentioned we're live tonight, and our live sponsor this season, of course, is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. What are we seeing here, Steve? Stunts?
Yep. The cheerleaders.
The legend, Donald Nicholson.
You remember a couple years ago when we were out there doing that very thing? We'd be breaking our necks, right?
I remember we did that in the championship game. We did our own little cheerleading in 1999.
Yeah, it was a very good year.
It was a very good year.
Yeah, you're talking about fun was had by all. We really mean it that season.
Yeah,
no?
sure do.
All right.
That'll live in our memories for the rest of our lives.
You got it. Well, after the timeout, 3rd and 9 Blue Devils. From the Courtland 30, they fake it to Terrell. Sutherland might be in a little bit of trouble. He does pick up a block. He looks downfield, and he does throw it here at the last second. This one's going to be incomplete. I'm not sure who that was intended for.
Right. He's almost, I thought he might have been a little bit over the line of scrimmage, but he threw it right to last.
Yeah, I think you might have been pushing it a little bit there.
Right. So, clock's still running.
Big round of applause for the
ball at the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
4th and 9.
The highest finish they've had in several years.
And what do you got? See, I think now you got to go to your bag of tricks, Mark. You know, dial up a reverse, dial up a Statue of Liberty or flea flicker or a hook and ladder. You know, what do you got to lose?
All those fun plays to watch. And, and to watch them develop, particularly if they're successul. But they're going to. The Blue Devils are going to send 3 receivers to the right, top of your screen. And the person not in your view right now, they have 1 receiver, there he is, to the left. So they load up that right side on 4th and 9. Bennett Sutherland has Malachi Terrell back there. Courtland showing pressure, and here they come.
Here they come.
Here is Sutherland. He's going to keep it, 30, 25, 20. And they're going to knock him down at about the 16-yard line, and that'll be a Blue Devil first down.
That's a good play by Bennett right there. He ran. He almost got caught in the backfield, but he showed some good moxie right there and able to run around and be able to pick up the first down.
He really did. He picked up 13 yards. So the Blue Devils now have it, Steve, at the 17-yard line. This is the deepest they have penetrated into Courtland territory in this football game.
And you know Culpeper wants to do a score. They do not want to go out of here blanked. But, again, you know, clock's still running.
All right, Sutherland this time rolling to his right. Now he's going to throw. He's got a receiver out there. That's Anthony Marshall. Steps out of bounds inside that 15-yard line. Short pickup, about 3 yards, rather.
3 yards. And see, I'd be throwing in the end zone. When you gotta score. So, again.
And you stepped out of bounds, and you would think ordinarily, well, that stops the clock. But here in this situation or scenario, it does not.
Right.
So here it is now, 2nd and 7. Blue Devils from the 14. Checking in the backfield is Jakari Edwards, number 26. Clock continues to run. Bennett Sutherland, the quarterback. Here comes some pressure. He runs away from it. Now watch out. Here's a blindside hit made by Courtland's number 15. That's Adam Meek. Here he is.
And again, Mark, look at he's not a big player, but they're just hard-nosed kids over there at Courtland. And I get that's why I'm not seeing tonight from the Blue Devils that want to scrap and try to, other than Malachi, everybody else is just I just don't know. I mean, they just haven't shown up tonight. And I'm sorry to be that way, but that's exactly what's happening.
They got into trouble early on in this game against Courtland, and it was a hole they haven't been able to climb out of or even get near the top, as Bennett Sutherland is going to throw for the end zone. This one's going to be incomplete, and it was intended for Alex Lowe.
And Mark, we got a update on the EV King George game. King George is leading 19-0 third quarter.
But you still think that 19-0, you're still in contention technically.
Yeah, I mean, Eastern View is playing a lot tougher than what other teams have been. The King George has been rolling. I mean, they even beat Louisa. So.
Yeah, right. It makes me wonder, Steve, who, from a personnel standpoint for Eastern View in the secondary, has stepped up to match up against those two receivers. I know. Plus Kyle Ravello, the tight end.
Well, but Brett Clatterball's been having a game, I bet you.
You got to figure. Yeah. From the 20-yard line, 4th and 14 now. Here's Bennett Sutherland. He's going to throw. He's going to the end zone. This is batted away. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. And once again, Steve, the Blue Devils are denied access into that Courtland end zone.
Right, and in Courtland now, they're not going to throw it. They're just going to run it, and then maybe they're going to, use some of their second-team backs here and try to just run out this ball game. And it's 8:50 right now, and when have we had a game end this early? So,
well, Courtland will have it on the 20. This broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 547-3673. 6:02 and counting. Fourth quarter action.
You got a new quarterback.
All right, let's check the number. It's number 4, and he is handing off to number 3. That would be Kamari Jackson. So number 4, the new quarterback is Evan Donahue. He's a junior, 5'5", 140.
Wow, he's a little guy playing
Here
quarterback.
He is. Mm-hmm.
Playing quarterback. That must, he can really hide back there. And, I'd like to see what his arm would be, but that's a little guy playing quarterback.
Really is. And so Donahue, 5'5", and he's a junior. Going to get some playing time here as we approach the 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter. And the running back here is number 23. That's Amir Mateo. He had a big first half, 2 touchdowns in that first half.
Yeah, it's clock stop. We're getting a timeout.
It looks like we've got maybe an injured Courtland player.
Yeah. Injury timeout on the field.
We'll stop the clock, and that'll give us a chance to single out our supporters of Blue Devils football this season. And this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. Can you pick up the number of that player, Steve? It's number 10, isn't
10.
it? All right, that's going to be Dom Morello.
I didn't see how he got hurt, and
yeah.
Hopefully it's not too bad. Talking to him, see if he can get up. I thought it might have been a cramp, but it looks like that's going to be the case.
Well, with the injury, the player being attended to, let's take a break. We'll come back when the action resumes. Keep it right here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. Cash Imprints, 317-1473. The Copperfish and Time Market, 825-1011. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast. The injured Courtland player was able to get to the sidelines unassisted. His name, Dom Morello. And now the clock resumes running. The new quarterback is Evan Donahue. And the running back here is Kamari Jackson. And making the tackle for Culpeper is Jacob Lynch.
Maybe they ought to suit up Dante.
Yeah.
Culpeper, maybe he's big enough, isn't he?
Well, he's suited up in a real padded kind of way, isn't he? Dante.
Bounce off Dante.
There he is. There's Dante. That's the name of the new Blue Devil mascot.
Put him out there.
He was introduced in the pregame. Yeah, Dante. If you're wondering if he was named with Dante's Inferno as the inspiration, the answer is yes, as I understand it. Oh, we're going to have a face mask coming in. This is a face mask that actually takes the helmet off of the running back there. And I think it was Deontay Ford, and he was making the tackle on Amir Mateo.
And 23 got his helmet ripped off. It had to be a face mask or at least a horse collar. But
I think it was a face mask from this angle. It was sort of inflicted in such a way it was like, I'll get the face mask, and well, might as well take your helmet off in the process.
Yeah, see what the...
Well, I could be wrong.
Well, you know, the clock stops.
There's your personal foul call. Face mask it is. That does stop. Well, you know what? The clock's still running, Steve.
No, on penalties, it was supposed to stop on a penalty. But we'll see. Culpeper doesn't care. They want to get out of here anyway.
I think if it continues to run, it might be merciful.
Yeah.
Hey, let's pick up some of these new players in there for Culpeper, Steve. I see someone we haven't called here. If we can find them as they come in. You've got to be seeing some new players here.
I know, like I'm looking at 16. I don't see it, no.
I'm seeing a couple new players on that line. And here is Amir Mateo back to work down inside the 20-yard line. And I think that was Jared Brundage on the tackle. And Talik Thomas shaken up for a second.
We got
seems to be okay.
There's another flag. Oh, it's football. Number 70, is that 73?
How about 53? No, that's
73.
William Holland. Who am I saying?
99. No. Oh, they got the
57.
That's
right.
the girl. That's the girl.
Parker Zam. 5 feet 230 senior.
Yeah.
All right, and that's 57.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who that is.
She's the girl.
And I do believe that's the first time we've called the name all season.
Yeah, it's the first time she's been in there.
All right. On the run this time is Kamari Jackson. Blue Devils do a nice job of making the tackle before he can get going. That was number 50. Check your roster for 50.
50 is...
No, Culpeper.
Culpeper. Let me see. Don't have a 50.
Yeah, I don't have a 50 either, but he is out there.
The Phantom. It rises again. But 57's the girl. The girl.
Down to under 2 minutes to play. Steve, where did the time go? Where did the time go? Donahue handing off. Straight ahead. Ball carrier. And I believe that was Amir Mateo. No, number 20 this time for Courtland. Might as well mix it up. That was Christian Olivella.
Okay. Like I said,
now
big 77 goes in now for Culpeper. And that's Sean James.
All right, so first we called that name. But the clock runs. We're down to 1:20 to play in the fourth quarter. 46-0 in favor of Courtland. And they take their time, and why not?
Yeah, I mean, they're just letting the clock.
A little surprised that Amir Mateo remains in the game for them.
Yeah, I do too. Maybe he wants to break 100 yards. I don't know. Maybe their statisticians told him say he's got X number of yards.
I don't know, because they seem to have a plethora.
33 for Culpeper just went in.
Looks like it's called a timeout.
Justin
That's going to be a timeout taken by Courtland, Steve. And, you know, our timeout sponsor is CFC Farm and Home Center. The service, knowledge, and products you need for your farm, home, pets, livestock, and equine since 1932. And, of course, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. And also Copperfish and Time Market, from wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between. You'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. All right.
You know what I'm saying is, Mark, why would Courtland call timeout? I mean, you know, they've run the clock down. Then why didn't you just take a knee? I mean, you know, I get it. Maybe some of the backups want to score, but
Bill, it's hard. It's sort of hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want these in case we go into overtime? I just got a big laugh out of it.
You're being optimistic, aren't you?
I just got a. Do you think the Blue Devils? No, I just got a big laugh out of Steve because I'm pretty sure I caught you off guard with that. I'm just going to tell you what he did. I'm just going to tell on him. Steve just I always give Steve a roster of each team before the game starts. And he just gave them back to me with 50-some seconds to play. I said, do you think this game is over or something? And,
yeah, we're
you sure you won't need those two? Yeah.
If they come back from that, I mean, that's the ultimate of miracles.
Here's Donahue, his first carry. Look at the little guy go. Yeah. Picks his way forward for positive yardage. Got inside the 5-yard line. They may have time for another play. I think Donahue hopes they run another one.
Yeah, I do too. I bet he does. Cox continue to run.
First down, Cougars.
And I don't think the Cougars are going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're going to just let this clock run. He's going to take a knee.
But, you know, that's a situation where you have your backup quarterback, little Zach Donahue there. There he is, number 4. He gets in there, and he gets an opportunity to play, and he, makes the most of it.
No, they're just going to let the clock go. They're not going to do that. That would be the ultimate. That'd be the
right. It's going to be the class thing to do.
League.
They're going to let the clock run out, and it's official. It's in the book. So the game is officially over. Our final score: Courtland 46, Culpeper nothing. Culpeper falls to 4-5 on the regular season. They're 2-4 in the district, and they're going to finish up the regular season a day early next week by taking on Chancellor on Thursday, Steve. So your final thoughts tonight before we go out of here?
I really don't have any, Mark, other than Culpeper got whooped. That's all I got to say.
All right. Can you put it in more succinct terms?
Nope.
I'm just kidding. That was very succinct. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. And once again, 46-0 our score. And for Johnny behind the camera, Nicole back in the studio, Steve alongside me here in the press box, I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Blue Devils football here on the Culpeper Media Network. We'll see you next week, possibly Thursday from Chancellor. And then we hope to see each of you in the final game of the regular season against Millbrook. But that might be subject to change. We'll see. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. From wood-fired pizza to the freshest seafood and a world of taste in between. You'll find it all at Copperfish and Time Market. More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.